Alright, so we're going to be doing a little bit of an oil change on the old Ford 9N. It's got clean oil. Hasn't really been changed since we've owned it, but we've only put a handful of hours on it in the last year and a half, so it's due. From what I've read, the Napa 1010 filter is the one for this tractor. I paid $21 and some change for it. You can find a comparable filter from Baldwin online for about $9, especially from yesteryear tractors. I'd recommend going that route. And we're going to go with Dello 15W40. This is the oil I've heard that people have had great luck with on these tractors. Just a square nut on this. I'm hopefully going to be able to grab it with this pipe wrench, because for some reason our big crescent wrench is MIA. Isn't that how it always goes? It's right when you need it the most, it ain't there. We got this thing warmed up, so the oil should be flowing pretty good. And I have a feeling this is a big drain plug. It's gonna just gush, isn't it? Yep. Oil's not really super dirty, but I'd say it was due to be changed. Oh yeah. Oh, cool. It looks like we actually have the screen. I guess it's common for these things to go missing or get broken off at some point. It's actually very cool to still have that. Alright, we're gonna crack open this for the oil filter. Helicopter flying over. Sounds like an air crane. So it is still draining oil down there in this thing. Oh yeah, bud. Get this out of here. Alright, looks like the one I got. For anyone that is interested, the filter I brought out of this took out of this, a Wix 51010. So similar part number as the Napa 1010 I got, but this is a Wix cartridge filter made in USA. I'm gonna try and show you guys what I'm seeing down in there. See if I can get it to focus on something other than that stem. There's some crud in the bottom of here. Come on, focus, baby. Let's see.
There we go. So, I'm gonna try and get this cleaned out somehow. Well, turns out there's actually a drain on the bottom, it looks like. Little bit of sediment. You can see some bearing material in there. But considering this thing's between 1939 and 1948, that ain't that bad. I'm sure it's been cleaned.
So this is interesting. I was cleaning this out. You know, I sprayed it out with some brake cleaner. Just get all the metal stuff I saw, and then I'm feeling around down there. What I realized is, like, I've got to take this fitting off, and then I need to unscrew this, because right at the very bottom of this filter cup, there is a deep divot, and it's full of what feels like sand. So I'm guessing it's a combination of sediment and probably old bearing material from the engine, but there is a ton of stuff sitting right there. So I'm going to take this all the way off so I can really clean this nicely. I feel like that might be something a lot of people miss. All right, so I've got that undone. Now I'm gonna see if I can get this piece out. But look at this stuff that's on the bottom. That's not just oil, that's like metal. That's all kinds of nasty stuff in there. Okay, can I get anything out of there? Okay, so maybe that doesn't come out. Yeah, right there at the very bottom, there's a whole bunch of sediment. No real good way to film this, but all right, there was not a good way to get that out of there, but look at this. You guys can see that? That's actually sediment. Look at that. That's like sediment and metal shavings. It's thick. We got this line hooked back up. We got the drain plug back in. Got the inside of the bowl here. See if I can get this for you guys again. Get it as clean as we possibly can. Right down that lip, like right there. That's where all the sediment was collecting. So you can see we actually got it quite a bit cleaner down there. So I'm gonna get this thing put back together with the new filter, and we'll get it oiled up. All right, I'm trying to get this done before it gets dark, but you guys got to see that. Okay, this is the bottom of the drain plug. That square is actually recessed in the bottom. You can see that there. Check this out, dude. That's all old bearing material and sediment that was sitting in the bottom of this motor. I'm gonna get this thing cleaned out really good, but something to pay attention to when you're doing this to your tractor, if you want to anyway. All right, so we got it looking a lot better. You can actually see the old serial number thing in the bottom there. But yep, way better. There is a little gasket on here. That red line, that's a gasket. So you want to make sure you don't damage that. Or if it comes off, you want to make sure it goes back on. Damn it, I gotta clean that. This surface right here is really dirty. I gotta clean that real quick.
I know it looks like it's still pretty bright on the camera, but it's actually I'm fighting the darkness now. It's starting to get dark out here. I'm kind of scared of the dark. I'm just kidding. But I don't really have any good lights at the moment. I had a really nice rechargeable shop light, but it grew legs and walked away recently, or a while ago. I'm not really sure because I can't find it for the life of me. I don't really have any great lights at the moment, which is I think what I already said. Sorry, I'm just rambling. Yeah. Get this all nice and pretty so that gasket will seal up good. And it's looking pretty good now. Yeah. I think we're in business, so let's get this guy back in there. Nice and gentle. Oh yeah. Bada bing, bada boom. Hell of a feeling running these country roads. Especially if you're on an old Ford tractor and you're only doing 15 miles an hour. Feels like you're doing 40. Alright. I don't really know how to do this thing. I'm just going to give her help. The old on your back with your knee up against the front tire. Ugh, that's got to be tight enough.
Now we just fill her up. 6 quarts. Well, we are getting one heck of a sunset tonight, I think. Anyway, we got this thing about ready to prime, so let's do that. Alright, so we got the 6 quarts, touch over 6 quarts I put in there. It's right below the full line on the dipstick there. So I'm gonna crank this thing over a few times to try to prime oil up into the fuel filter. And then I'm also gonna make sure that we don't have any oil leaks before we start it. Alright, so we're gonna make sure we're in neutral. Keys off, and we should be able to crank it. See if that oil pressure gauge moves at all. You can't really see it, but alright, now we're gonna go over here, make sure there's no oil squirting anywhere. Oh, it looks okay. And we're gonna hit the ignition. Let's see what happens here. See if we get oil pressure. Maybe give it a little choke here. Alright, we got oil pressure. Sitting at 20 pounds. Uh-oh. And she died. It is really cold. It's like 36 degrees out here right now, so she might be just a little temperamental. We got the oil changed. Pretty decent process there. 6 quarts of oil, Napa 1010 filter. Uh, Apparently Wix makes a filter, and the Baldwin filters are for sale online for about $9, so it ain't bad. Overall, pretty painless process. It feels good to get some fresh oil in here. I went with the Delo oil. From all the tractor forums I saw, people recommended using a 10 or a 15W40 diesel engine oil. It's got more zinc in it than regular automotive oil, and these old tractors, I believe, have flat tappet cams, and that's going to be a little bit helpful. So glad to get that one knocked off, sitting at 20 pounds of pressure on the oil gauge there, and this thing's ready to put in some more hours. Thanks for watching.